It starts with something small, like a cut, like the scrapes you got when you were a kid. Chances are your mom sat you down and cleaned out the wound. A little antibiotic ointment, a Band-Aid, a kiss, and problem solved. But what if there was no clean water, no antibiotic ointment? What if your scraped knee got super infected, all red and angry and weepy? Next, you'd go to the doctor, right? But what if there was no doctor? The closest one was hours away and you had no transport money. Forget about the cost of treatment. What if the infection started working its way up your leg, and all your mom or dad could do was watch you get worse as you started to limp with each step, as you missed more days of school because the walk was too long, too painful, as you eventually dropped out of school, stopped playing with friends, stopped helping with family chores? Then you'd start to feel like the millions of boys and girls living in the world's poorest countries. Children who contract deep septic bone infections, who live for whole childhoods with twisting club feet, who survive malaria's raging fevers with damaged brains, who lose their legs and sight and hearing because they can't get the medical care they need, who lose their lives at 4 times the rate of other kids because misunderstanding and exclusion can make disability lethal. Dads don't have it much better. Imagine you're a dad who can't see, so no one will hire you. Or a mom who can't hear or talk, so your neighbors think you're not quite human. So you're more vulnerable to physical and sexual abuse. 2 to 3 times more vulnerable than a woman with no disability. Disability is a big root cause of poverty and suffering that hardly anyone knows about. 800 million people in our world have to struggle just to survive. These are men and women and children who aren't just poor, they're poor and they can't see or walk or hear. Disability means that whole families fall into deeper poverty. And deeper poverty means more malnutrition, less clean water, less access to medical care, and you guessed it, more disability. It's a vicious cycle that sucks whole families into powerlessness and despair. Unless somebody stops the cycle. Unless somebody starts a new cycle, a cycle of health and empowerment. Just $10 begins this new cycle. $10 to buy a mosquito net to stop malaria. $10 to buy antibiotics to heal cuts and stop infection. $10 to pay transport to a hospital where CBM partners are providing free medical care. $10 to make a life-changing, life-saving difference. $10 starts whole families on the road to health, choice, education, employment. It all starts with you. Join the $10 revolution.